What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the City Life Project YouTube channel for yet another picks and predictions video here on the channel. UFC Fight Night Cannonier versus Borralho, and we are going to run down and preview this card, starting with the prelims, ending with the main event. Let's get right into it. Starting with Wang against Victoria Leonardo. Wang is 5-0 as a pro, and look at these friggin' boxing odds up in this motherfucker over here. Minus 1,300 favorite with only 5 professional fights under her belt. Up against Victoria Leonardo, who is 9-5 as a pro. 2-3 in her last 5 fights. She's the plus 730 underdog, 34 years of age. 1 KO, TKO, 4 submission, 4 decision. Has actually never lost via decisions. Got submitted once and knocked out TKO 4 times. 3-2 in Invicta, 1-3 in the UFC, 2-0 in LFA, and 1-0 in Bellator. She certainly competed everywhere here in North America. Lost Natalia Silva. Look, no shame in that. Natalia Silva is actually very good. Lost to beat Mandy Baum, who's, decent, so that's not a bad win, but lost to Melissa Gatto. Lost to Manon Fior, who's actually pretty good as well. It's funny, if you look on paper, she's actually lost to Erin Blanchfield. I know this was an exhibition fight, I guess, but if you look at her losses, she's only lost to good opponents. But even in her wins here, it's just, I don't know. She has not. I'm not impressed by your performance. I'll let GSP speak on behalf of myself. Wang, on the other hand, actually pretty impressive in her 5 pro wins. Now, has not fought opponents at the same level as her opponent here in the UFC. 32 years of age. Did beat a pretty good gal, 5-2 gal, on road to UFC, and actually employed some grappling in that one. She did come out of Kunlun fight, which is like, the regional scene in China. It's tough to gauge who's actually good and who actually isn't until you put them up against most of the time North American competition. But she did beat a 13-6 gal, a 3-1 gal at UAE Wars when she was 2-0. So honest, and she's a kickboxer who has actually started to employ some grappling in her game. I think these odds are absolutely insane, but hey, everyone values Wang's skills, and honestly, after watching a couple of her fights, I like her winning this one as well. So I'm going to pick her to win. I think minus 1,300 is absolutely insane. Is there an injury or something here that we don't know about? I don't know. I do think she's a little bit bigger. I do think she has good technique. Obviously, Victoria's fought better opponents, but Wang, I guess, is just better all around at this stage. Really good striking, obviously, and not just a can crusher. So we're going with Wang. What's up, Irish Animal? What's up, Metallica fan? What is up, Paradox the Chad? Good to see you. Sure, Irish Animal. Go right ahead, buddy. All right. In this next one, we have Zygimantas Ramaska against Nathan Fletcher. Now, Ramaska was supposed to fight Mairon Santos in the semifinals of the Ultimate Fighter, but he had an injury to his face. I don't know if it was quite the orbital, but he had some fracture in his face, and despite the commission making him cut weight, they actually denied him the fight last minute. So Miguel Torres, I think it was Miguel Torres, but anyways, Torres took his spot, and Santos just beat him up for 3 rounds. So I actually like this matchup. Both these guys Nathan Fletcher lost on the Ultimate Fighter. Ramaska just didn't get the opportunity to fight in the semis. He was in one of the best fights that I've seen this year. And not necessarily the most technical fights. So I shouldn't maybe say that, but one of the best brawls that I've seen this year. It was awesome on the Ultimate Fighter, and that's what ultimately got him his win. Peepin' Tom, what's going on? 9-2 as a pro, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He is the slight underdog at plus 135. He's out of Lithuania. He's 27 years of age. 5 KO TKOs, 4 submissions, 0 decisions. That's what I like to see. What's up, Denial? Good to see you. 1-1 in ACB, 3-1 in King of Kings. Hey, thank you. Yes, everybody liked the stream. Appreciate you, man. Beat a 10-10 guy in his last pro fight. 25-7, 14-4-1. So if you look at his record, it's like, okay, yeah, nothing really stands out, but his last fight on The Ultimate Fighter showed that he's a fucking dog and he can take damage and continue to dish it out. He's super tough. He's a brawler, where some of the technique that of Nathan Fletcher has over him, I really, really like his brawling mentality there in the cage. And from what I saw, he's actually pretty well-rounded as well. Nathan Fletcher, though, I will say is a little bit more talented, has more of the polished technical background. 8-1 as a pro, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He's on a 2-fight win streak. -160, he is the favorite. Both of them relatively young. He's out of next generation. 1 KO TKO, 6 submissions, never been submitted, 1 decision. 8-1 in Cage Warriors. And yeah, he likes the submissions. He likes the submissions, but his striking isn't that bad either. I'm going with Ramaska on this one. I think he's definitely more hungry, not being able to compete in the semis as well. Though Nathan Fletcher, like I said, a little bit more polished technique-wise, and especially in the grappling department, Ramaska is more of a dog. He's more of a brawler. He's tough. What's up, Andrew? Fletcher has fought better competition, but Ramaska has a good chin. His last TKO loss, one of his only 2 losses, was back in 2018. He did get submitted in his last loss, though, which, that was, over 2 years ago, but that is something to note. And as I wrote in my notes here, just like I said, not as technical, but can last and outgrind and perform guys as the fight goes on. Drag you into a firefight, drag you into deep waters. What's up, Activate A? So I'm going with him. We'll get you guys' comments after every 3 fights that we get to, all right? And I do have to do a hard stop in 1 hour if we go that long, because we got to stream KSW. All right. Josiane Nunes against Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Oh, and already having some connection issues today. Great. Sorry about that, guys. We're gonna keep going here. We didn't keep going here. Usually, I do a restart on all my internet, everything before starting, but didn't have time. All right, sorry about that. Okay, we're back. Oh, look at that. We're good. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's get back here. We got Josiane Nunes against Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Josiane Nunes 10-2 as a pro. Jacqueline 6-1. Jacqueline's out of Portugal. Josiane Nunes out of Brazil. Josiane Nunes is 4-1 in her last 5 fights. Did lose her last fight, which it wasn't a good performance at all against the track star Chelsea Chandler. Cavalcanti on a 4-fight win streak against Zara Farin, someone who Nunes beat as well. And some LFA fighters there. Let's take a look here. She's 26 years of age. I can't blame that one. Metallica fan on the roommate tripping over the cord this time. 3 KO TKO, 0 submissions, 3 decisions. 1-0 in the UFC, 1-0 in LFA, and 0-1 in PFL. She beats Farin in her last fight, a 4-1 gal. Honestly, I would say this is her probably... Whoops. Melissa Croden is probably her best win. Other than that, not really any notable wins on her resume there. Is more of a striker than a grappler, and that is more of what Josiane Nunes is as well. Josiane Nunes 10-2 as a pro. She's the underdog in this one. Interesting. Probably because of the size. She is undersized compared to her opponent, but it seems like she's undersized compared to all of her opponents. 7 KO TKOs, 0 submissions, 3 decisions, 3-1 in the UFC. Again, not a good performance against Chelsea Chandler. Not a good performance at all against Chelsea Chandler. And you know what? Against Zara Farin, and Pascual as well. I would have liked to see finishes there by Nunes, but she does have finishing ability. She does hit hard. She's just shorter and has to land that big overhand, and that's pretty much her game. Like, her takedown defense isn't amazing. It's not horrendous, but she really relies on that big power striking. Before losing to Chelsea Chandler, look at the run that she was on, only losing to Tyler Santos back in 2013. I am going with the underdog on this one. I'm going with Josiane Nunes. Yeah, both don't really have much grappling or submissions in their arsenal. Each have a decent amount of finishes. Josiane Nunes in particular, obviously, she hits hard, but she was way too timid in her last fight, got controlled by a much bigger Chelsea Chandler, and we saw Chelsea Chandler miss weight by a lot in her last fight too, so that just showed that she's probably just a whole weight class above. But again, Nunes isn't the biggest girl anyways. But yeah, going with Nunes on this one. Short but wicked overhand. Overall, fought better girls. Despite being smaller, she is tougher, so I'm going with Nunes. All right, before we get to this next one, let's check in on your guys' comments here. Thank you so much, Peepin' Tom. Yes, smash that like button. I always stick a thumb up, Isha. I mean, give it thumbs up. Let's go. What's up, Andrew? I think Fletcher physically might be too much and get a sub. Yo, what's up, Gansko? Road to UFC, it was okay. We at least ended with a nice finish, which was good. Yes, he must have done it. Interesting. Dog. What's up, Arthur? Kong Wang has a win over Valentina Shevchenko in kickboxing. That's why she's a minus 1,200 favorite. All right. Different sport, but makes sense. Nunes as Andrew's going with Nunes as well. By the way, it's good to see you, Arthur. LFA was good. Yeah, man. I watched. Well, I hate to say this, and it's not disrespecting LFA, but I fell asleep watching LFA. I turned it on while I was eating a late dinner and just kind of fell asleep on the couch. Made it to the co-main. What's up, sis? Good to see you. How's everybody doing this Saturday morning, by the way? We have a lot of fights ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. KSW, UFC, back-to-back deep cards. So excited to stream all day, all night. All right, let's get to the next one here. We got Slava Claus, Vyacheslav Borshchev against James Llontop. Now, Llontop 14-3 as a pro. He is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. A disappointing performance against Chris Padella, where he got submitted. Borshchev, man, I like rooting for this guy, but it's hard to trust him. He's got little to no ground game at all. Gets taken down at will, and again, Chase Hooper getting better and better, but Chase Hooper outstruck the kickboxer turned MMA fighter, right? So it's hard to trust him on this one. I understand, I guess, why he's that much of the favorite, just because James Llontop has only really beaten up on regional guys, where I guess Borshchev has been fighting UFC level guys. But I thought this one would have been more of a pick'em. I thought this one would have been closer in the betting odds. James 14-3 as a pro, 7 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 6 decisions, 0-1 in the UFC, 1-0 off Contender Series. And yeah, he was on a hell of a run before losing to Chris Padilla. And again, didn't just crush cans. Now, there was a few mixed in there. But actually fought some decent opponents in FFC. Borshchev, Slava Claus, 7-4-1. What's up, Austin Alley? As a pro, this is your favorite underdog. Nice. He is 1-3-1 in his last 5 fights. Oof. 32 years of age. Got beaten up by Chase Hooper in his last fight, 7-4-1 in mixed martial arts. And you got to imagine if he loses this one, he will be cut from the UFC. Team Alpha Male guy, 6 KO TKO, 0 submissions, 1 decision. He's lost 3 times via decision, once via submission. Has not been knocked out yet. 2-3-1 in the UFC, 1-1 in LFA, 1-0 off Contender Series. And I mean, this was a good win. This was a good win. But yeah, lost to Casey's, Mike Davis, Chase Hooper, draw against Sadikov. These are the wins I mean, Sadikov's fine, I guess, but I mean, like on the regional scene, actually put together a pretty good resume. But yeah, his wrestling, his takedown defense, his grappling was exposed. And shoot, man, there are strikers well outside the rankings who are able to beat him up as well. I think he's a really good underdog. Again, I'm not betting. I don't bet on mixed martial arts. Or I very rarely bet on mixed martial arts. You guys are the experts when it comes to betting. I just give my picks, and hey, maybe it helps you guys form an opinion. But if I was betting on this one, I would probably bet on James here for my pick. I'm giving Slava Claus a one more fucking chance, ladies and gentlemen. I'm picking Slava Claus to win. But yeah, definitely wouldn't bet on him to win this one or include him in any parlays. I don't trust him. And I don't trust him as much as I don't know if I ever really trust him, but it's hard to trust him these days. He's getting older. I do think he has the better striking. This ain't going to the ground. Both don't have good ground games, but Chase Hooper outstruck him. But maybe I'm just not giving Chase Hooper enough credit as he's continuing to get better and better. But yeah, James here. Really, really good regional wins. Like I said, good underdog at plus 180, but I'm trusting the Vets Kickboxing, and I'm never going to pick him to win a fight again if he loses this one and or stays in the UFC. But going with Borshchev on this one. Smash that like button if you guys haven't already, by the way. We'll get to your comments here after these next two picks, all right? All right, up the card here, we have Jose Medina against Zach Reese. Zach Reese, the Savage, scored a beautiful knockout in his last fight, where Jose Medina's coming off a loss on Contender Series almost a year ago. He's 11-3 as a pro, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, 33 years of age, up against Zach Reese, who's 7-1 as a pro. Lost his first fight against Cody Brundage, funny enough, TKO'd via slam takedown there. But has had a pretty good run on the regional scene and had a good armbar on Contender Series. Actually, it was beautiful highlight there. Jose Medina. Sounds good, Andrew. See you later. 8 KO, TKO, 2 submissions, 1 decision. So he does have power in those mitts. And despite crushing a lot of cans in his regional career, at least he's crushed the cans, right? I'm saying if you're going to fight cans, you take them to decision or split decisions, then I'm really going to be critical of you. If you're beating up on these guys and take them out with relative ease, it's like, okay, well, at least you performed to the best of your ability and showed that you were levels above these guys. 2-1 in combat Bolivia. Be 4-2 guy, 11-23, 2-0, 2-1, 0-2. Like man, it's not good, but at least he's been knocking these guys out or ground and pounding them, getting them into crucifix. But yeah, even some of his losses here, 12-3, I guess, I'm not gonna be super critical on that, but 9-8, like come on. Zach Reese, 7-1 as a pro. He's the huge favorite in this one. I like Zach Reese. I'm just not sold on him as like being anything like extraordinary yet. I do believe he passes this test though. So yeah, I am picking Zach Reese to win. 5 KO TKOs, 2 submissions, 0 decisions, which is what you like to see. He's actually a very good grappler. He's dangerous off his back, and he clearly has power. 1-1 in the UFC. What's up, Kyle M? 1-0 on Contender Series. Like I said, very good win against Julian Marquez. Did I think Julian Marquez was going to win that fight? No, but still, he took him out very, very easily in the first round. And I hate using the word fluke, but like that was I'll say wacky finish by the slam of Cody Brundage. And then on the regional scene, 2 really good wins. I guess Contender Series counts as regional scene. So he beat a 6-0 guy and a 6-3 Aaron Phillips. But Aaron Phillips has been on the fucking downfall since his tough appearance, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't really know how much I value that win. Look, he's clearly talented. He's clearly well-rounded. I just really want to see him tested against better guys. And this guy just ain't it. So I do think Zachary Reese is going to win this one, like I said. Not necessarily sold on him being a dominant guy in the UFC just yet. I look forward to seeing his next test after he gets past Medina. Better grappler, hits harder, I think. Way more talented. Medina does have KOs against absolute cans, like I said. Signed off a loss. No decision wins for Zach Reese. I like that. And like I said, I'm just excited to see him pass this test and potentially prove himself against better opponents. All right, we'll get back to you guys' comments right after this one. Dennis Buzukja against Francis Marshall. Buzukja 12-4 as a pro. He's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He is the underdog in this one, but this one's very, very close. Francis Marshall 7-2 as a pro, 3-2 in his last 5 fights on a 2-fight win streak. I mean, both of them are 3-2 in their last 5. Francis Marshall on 2-fight losing streak, whereas Dennis Buzukja just got back in the win column. Both similar age as well. 26 years of age for Buzukja, 25 years of age for Francis Marshall. Francis Marshall, 1 KO, TKO, 4 submission, 2 decision. Never been submitted, only been knocked out once, and his other loss came via decision. 1-2 in the UFC, 1-0 off Contender Series. Got absolutely dominated by Bulgarian right away in the fight and won a close decision to William Gomez. That fight wasn't super exciting. So yeah, razor thin, and the judges gave it to Gomez. But I was not really impressed with either guy's performance in that one. Rojo's a decent guy. Connor Matthews, a good opponent there on Contender Series. And his regional run wasn't that impressive. Beat the guys he needed to beat, and then he went 5-0 on the amateur scene. Dennis Buzukja 12-4. Trains out of actually a really good gym in Serra-Longo, or I guess Weidman Longo now. 12-4. 5 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 6 decisions. Only been knocked out once, never been submitted, and his other 3 losses have come via decision. 1-2 in the UFC, 1-1 on Contender Series, and 1-0 in Bellator. Connor Matthews, good win in his last fight. Was able to finish that one late. Got knocked out. Well, I guess TKO'd by Jamal Emmers. Now, Jamal Emmers, a decent veteran, but that's the kind of guy that you want to beat as you continue to rise in the rankings of the UFC. And I don't blame him for losing to Sean Woodson, because everybody fucking loses to Sean Woodson. He's literally the Slenderman / boogeyman of the division. Although Alex Caceres actually had a pretty decent performance against him. Before them was on a hell of a run. Again, some cans in here, but honestly, some decent opponents as well on the regional scene. This one's close. Both of them are good, but I'm going with Buzukja in this one. I think he has a little bit more polished hands. He has better training partners. Francis Marshall, I don't know much about his gym at all, but I do know that Dennis Buzukja does train and has been main training partners of a lot of the guys at Serra-Longo, at Weidman Longo, for their training camps as well. So when you train with these top guys, that is something to take into account. Both have decent wins, but also have bad losses. Better training partners, better gym, better striking, in my opinion, going up against more sound wrestlers and grapplers. And it's not like Francis Marshall took this fight on short notice, but he was the replacement fighter. So Dennis Buzukja has been, I guess, ready to fight a little bit longer. He has had a longer camp. Both of them young. Both of them have been smashed at this UFC level at one point or another. But I'm going with Buzukja on this one. All right, time to get to your guys' comments here. And again, big shout out to everybody hanging out with us in the live chat here. Appreciate you guys. Again, hard stop at the top of the hour because I got to jump to KSW, but I think we will be able to get through it. We're about halfway through. All right, what do we got here in the chat? I did the same, but I also wake up at 3 a.m. There you go. Andrew went to bed at 3 a.m. too. Oh, he's your favorite underdog? The guy taking on Borshchev? Yep. Hit a 7-leg chalked up parlay on PFL last night. Let's go, Degenerate Dane. Awesome to hear, buddy. James never been KO'd. Borshchev might be in for another prototypical tough Peruvian. That is true. God, I almost... Now, you know what? No, I locked in my pick. I'm keeping it. But that one I was going back and forth on a lot. Kyle M, great to see you, my man. What's up? I can't trust Slava Claus after he canned all my parlays versus Hooper. Slava Claus about to get a ruptured sack. Paradox the chat. Thank you for stopping in too, buddy. Just cooked up a plus 410 parlay I like. Medina looked like a punching bag on Contender. Decision is plus 200 Bors and plus 550 James. Wow. Juicy line for two dudes that haven't been KO'd and will have a kickboxing match more than likely. Activate A's parlay. Under 2.5 Kong fight. Jacqueline decision and over 2.5 in Santos versus Ofli. I like it. I like it. No, I am way too poor to bet on anything. And yeah, I mean, the only thing I bet on is the show Survivor. But I don't put up much money on that. And like I do one preseason bet for like a Stanley Cup pick for the NHL. God, if the Nashville Predators would have beaten Pittsburgh in 2017, I would have been able to pay off all my student loans. Let's just say that. But anyways, no, I don't have money to bet. I'm just not a gambler. I am a fan of the fights. And I'm not saying that gamblers can't be fans of fights either, because like our live chat is proof of that. It's just not my thing. But I do like giving my opinions, and I do say, like, if I had some money to bet, I would probably bet on set underdog. But no, you guys are the professionals when it comes to betting. I just like sharing my picks, and you guys tend to like me sharing the picks as well on stream. So that's what we do here. This being at 155, I don't know how Marshall late notice will do, so probably worth the dog as well. Yeah, Paradox is fairly new. Yeah, there you go. Well, I ended up giving it anyways. What's up, Sean? What's up? Oh, yeah. Like, even this year, I've bet on a few fights, but, like, I'm just not super hardcore. And also, it's illegal to bet in Minnesota, so it's not easy. I know there's always a way around it, right? But and when I lived in British Columbia, literally until I moved to the month I moved to Minnesota, a non-betting state, a non-sports betting state, they legalized it in my province. So I've just never grown up sports betting. No, I haven't learned. No, again, I've just never been a gambler in any sort of capacity, except for the show Survivor, which I've actually won some money on. But my friends, my friend's mom actually cleans us up every time. She knows her shit. Betting to me ruins the sport. People just start chasing numbers instead of appreciating fights, and I've done it myself. Yeah, that's another thing too. It's like I never, and I don't think I would get upset because I don't even care if my picks turn out right or wrong. I really don't care. I don't even make Tapology picks. I just like jumping on these streams with you guys and sharing my opinions and learning from you guys as well. You guys are teaching me a lot about the fight betting game. All good, dog. I like it, but that's too many props for my liking. The only long-distance striker champ left is O'Malley. Leon and Izzy have been decimated by the shorter, stockier muscle dudes. That is true. What's up, Cayman? Good to see you, by the way. Cayman, by the way, I've never properly appreciated and verbalized your profile, verbalized my appreciation and liking of your profile picture. Not much, man. Had to get my Jima's cat so can put her old self down. She's been acting weird for the past week. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. I just do these type of plays on the side that I like. All right. Yeah, no problem, dude. I don't know why I never really like took the time to like just tell you that, but it's awesome. It's fucking awesome. It's very unique, and I dig it. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. We got Edmund Shahbazyan, far from the golden boy, but that is his moniker nonetheless, against GM3 Gerald Meerschaert. GM3 still plugging along, ladies and gentlemen, has actually moved to Killcliff these days. 36 years of age. He is one state next to me in Wisconsin. 36-17 as a pro, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. What's up, Kershaw? I'm good, buddy. How are you doing? Good to have you here. Yeah, Activate A is like the king of the live bets. Now at Killcliff, 6 KO TKOs, 28 submissions, 2 decisions, 11-9 in the UFC, 7-2 in FCC, 2-2 in Madtown Throwdown. Fucking love the name of that regional. And 3-1 in Combat USA. I mean, good win against Brian Barberina, but I think we all expected him to get a good win in that one. Lost a close fight to Andre Petrosky, but honestly, like, I thought he won that one, and that was like a slugfest, but I did like that one. I did like that fight. Yeah, Joe Pyfer put him out. Be like Joe Pyfer. Beat Bruno Silva. I guess that's a good win. Lost to Jocko. Dustin Solstice, that was a good win. But again, now we're getting into like 2021. He's just getting old, man. He's just getting old, and he's just a lot slower. It's not like he was a really good striker to begin with. Obviously, grappling is his bread and butter, and he's very, very good there. But he's just getting slower. Like, he's not as quick anymore, even setting up his takedowns, even setting up the body locks or clinches to try to trip you to take you to the ground. And even on the ground, he's not as explosive anymore, but he's still tough as nails. And how can you not root for a guy like GM3? A good, tough Milwaukee, Wisconsin boy. Edmund Shahbazyan, though, getting a lot better. Now, kind of thrown into the fire early. I love that he's left that gym in Arizona, and he's been at Extreme Couture for the last few years, and now, at least the last few years anyways, maybe just a couple years. Anyways, 13-4 as a pro, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, 26 years of age. 11 KO TKOs, 1 submissions, 1 decision, 6-4 in the UFC, 1-0 off Contender Series. Yeah, like, he's been in the UFC for a while, and he started off very, very young. Great win against AJ Dobson in his last fight. Lost to Anthony Hernandez, but no shame in that, as Hernandez is damn good, dude. We all, I mean, the casuals are sleeping on Hernandez. The hardcores know how good he is. And a good win against Lugian Bula as well. And look at the guys he's lost to. Derek Brunson, Jack Hermanson, Nasruddin Imavov. He's only really lost to good opponents in the last 3 to 4 years. Has a win over Brad Tavares. Actually fucking took him out in the first round. So, like, does have some really good wins in the UFC, and his losses, I don't think, are anything. I mean, maybe Derek Brunson, but Derek Brunson was on a roll in 2020. Oh, I hate to do this, but I'm picking Edmund Shahbazyan. Yep, I'm picking Edmund Shahbazyan. Like I said, GM3 getting older, getting slower. Edmund is actually pretty well-rounded, and he's only lost to top guys. He hits really hard. His striking is levels above Gerald Meerschaert, and he's a lot quicker and lighter on his feet. He's got power. Not as good in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, not as good in just the straight grappling game. But GM3, I doubt, is going to wrestle him to dominant positions where he's going to get the submissions. However, if GM3 gets his back, it's probably going to be good night, Jim Kite. But I am going with Edmund Shahbazyan. Edmund, the guy with Ronda coach head movement. So he's out of Extreme Couture now. All right, we'll get back to the comments after a couple more, guys. Michael Morales against Neil Magny. Man, I know he doesn't fight in the most exciting fashion, but how can you not respect the fact that Neil Magny just takes on prospect after prospect, killer after killer every single time, and tells the UFC, I'll take on anyone. It doesn't matter. I just want to keep fighting. And that is likely why Dana White's, keeping him here. And he win one, lose one, win one, lose one. It's not like he goes on these extended losing streaks either. What a crazy upset victory. A comeback upset victory against Mike Malott 7 months ago. He's 29-11 as a pro, 37 years of age. He is getting older. He's the big underdog here. Michael Morales, 16-0. That is right. Another up and coming, and in this case, dangerous undefeated prospect out of Ecuador. And 25, bro. 25. He's 12 years younger. He's 12 years younger than Neil Magny. The Ultimate Fighter alumni. Neil Magny, I should say. Out of Elevation Fight Team, 8 KO TKOs, 4 submissions, 17 decisions, 22 and 10 in the UFC. He's had 32 UFC fights, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wow. Pulled out of a grappling match recently, but is, from what I've seen anyways, from what I've heard, he's healthy and he's had a really good camp. Lost to Ian Gary by fucking low kicks. Beat Philip Rowe in a close split decision where he basically just controlled him up against the cage. Gilbert Burns took him out quickly. Beat Daniel Rodriguez, was able to out-grapple him. Lost to Shavkat, but again, no shame in that. Beat Max Griffin, but again, kind of a fight where he won via like more control time than anything. I mean, Jeff Neal, this one's always going to age well. Same with the Robbie Lawler fight back in 2020. Same with the Li Jing Liang. Like, he's got some good names on his resume. What's up, Brandor? Good to see you. But again, he's being thrown to the wolves here in Michael Morales, which, I mean, if anyone, I feel like if you're gonna prove that you are truly a ranked or deserve to be in the rankings at welterweight, you got to get through Neil Magny. So, I mean, let's see if Michael Morales is that guy, because Neil Magny just seems to be that grizzled vet who doesn't fight necessarily exciting, but is tough to get through. Michael Morales, though, he's dangerous, man. What's up, Hoggy from home? What's up, Drizzy Goat? Michael Morales, 16-0 as a pro, 11 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 4 decisions, a very good striker with pretty good takedown defense. Neil Magny's going to have to get the underhooks and probably trip him to take him to the ground. I don't think he's going to just straight up land a single leg or double leg. 4-0 in the UFC, 1-0 off Contender Series. Good win against Jake Matthews. Again, good win against Max Griffin. Adam Fugit is actually, I believe it has a kickboxing background. He was able to get through him with ease, beat Trevin Giles. But the thing is, like, he hasn't faced anyone that next step up. Jake Matthews is kind of that fringe step up in competition, right? He's definitely better than some of these guys, but he's not quite like ranked level guy yet. So this is honestly a good test for him. Not a dangerous test for him, but a good test for him nonetheless. But he's good, man. He's good. On the regional, again, fought the guys he needed to fight. Didn't really have the most impressive wins on the regional. Looked pretty good in that one UWC fight. Well, pretty good. He knocked the guy out in the second round. Looked awesome on Contender Series despite it going to decision. And has beaten all the guys he's needed to be in the UFC. Has he left a little bit to be desired in some of his fights? Yes. So, again, from a betting perspective, I probably would... Maybe I even will drop a couple bucks and like quite literally like $2 on Neil Magny here just in case, you know, but I am going with Michael Morales. I'll be a little bit more sold on him when he gets by Neil Magny, and then we'll actually start to face guys closer or in the rankings. But what I have in my notes here is Magny, he can beat anyone. And he has. He's proven he can beat anyone. Morales has good takedown defense. He's the more dangerous striker and is better striking. Way younger, talented, very good win against Matthews. Doubt Magny's going to pin him up against the cage with ease like he's done to some of these other guys. And Morales has pretty deadly low kicks, and Neil Magny, as I even said in the opening part of this segment, but he doesn't check low kicks. He just doesn't check low kicks, and he never has. I think Michael Morales will keep this fight at range and piece Neil Magny up. I don't even know if he'll get the KO TKO. He might, but I think he wins a decision by just beating up Neil Magny, who's tough as nails and will probably last until the end. Okay, before we get to the first of 2 Ultimate Fighter finale fights, let's quickly check in with the comments. I do got to have a hard out at the top of the hour, guys. Just saying. I prefer live betting. Makes you focus more on the fights and put some skin in the game. It's so evident people care more about the bet than the sport when a fight has mildly controversial scorecards and you see people raging in the chat. That is true. That is true. Oh, man with the insight, with the man with the numbers, the man with the plan to the multiple dollars. You got Hill or Tabatha? Boy, I'm getting there, Drizzy. I'm getting there. I bet the MMA fighter that ethically raged on Barzola lost some money, and that's why the extra 20 seconds pissed him off so much. Probably. You got Tabatha by sub. Ricci should take that, but Hill is the ultimate fraud checker for the ladies. Edmund, Magny's getting destroyed. Magny's the goat of welterweight. They're really throwing one of my favorites in many to the wolves. Let's go, Degenerate Dane. Or Magny there. Hamza going to sub the rat Rob Whitaker. I don't think Rob Whitaker's a rat at all. That's a weird thing to say. Magny has the most welterweight wins. Marab smashes O'Malley. IFAX, the ultimate gatekeeper. Neil Magny is the only fighter to fight 5 times a year twice. Wow. He won 9 of those fights. I remember that run he had. It was a crazy run. Most definitely has to be dialed in. Hey, what's up, buddy? Magny with the upset. Hey, he got the upset win in his last fight. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to smash that like button. Vote in the poll question, too. There's room for a write-in. All right, let's get to the next ones. Here we have Mairon Santos against Kaan Ofli, ladies and gentlemen. Mairon Santos had yet another tough weight cut, by the way. He's fucking huge for the division, all right? Like, I imagine at some point in this guy's career, because he's still really young, he's 24 years of age, he's still really young. I imagine he's going to be fighting at lightweight at one point in his career. He's fucking huge. He is way bigger than Kaan Ofli, but Kaan Ofli is no slouch. He's 11-2-1 as a pro. He's out of Turkey, but fighting out of Melbourne, Australia. 11-2-1 as a pro, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. And he is a well-rounded. Like, he's got pretty good hands. He's got some power, but he's a very, very good grappler as well. 31 years of age. 2 KO, TKO, 5 submissions, 4 decisions. Has never been knocked out. Has never been submitted. His only 2 losses have come via decision. 3-1-1 in Australian Fighting Championship and 3-0 in Hex. Be a 6-1 guy, 4-4, 6-3 in his last 3 pro fights. Actually has some decent wins mixed in there. Beat a 5-2 guy, UAE Warriors as well, but that was back in 2019. He has been fighting for a long time, ladies and gentlemen, finally getting his big opportunity now. Mairon Santos was actually supposed to fight Sean Woodson in the UFC, I believe last year. That fight was canceled, so he decided to enter the Ultimate Fighter instead to boost his street cred, some may say. 13-1 as a pro. He did lose to Dan Argueta 2 years ago in LFA. And he got ground and pounded by him, which is interesting given that Dan Argueta is short but stocky, right? Like, Mairon Santos was a lot bigger than him, in my opinion. Came back strong against a 14-4 guy. Like I said, 24 years of age. He is the favorite at minus 185. And he's a danger striker, ladies and gentlemen. 7 KO, TKO, 0 submissions. He's never lost by submission either. 6 decisions. His only loss have come via KO, TKO. 1-1 in LFA, 3-0 in Chuto, Brazil. He's had a lot of canceled fights between 2022 and today. Did enter a grappling match, though, and won. So that is notable. He's no slouch on the ground. But he has really good takedown defense, which he proved in his Ultimate Fighter fights. Yeah, man, he's a talented striker, right? The combos that he puts together may not be lightning fast, but holy shit, he almost puts a little something extra in every single one. Like, when he throws a high right, left to the body, and low kick, you're feeling every single one of those shots. And yeah, both of them coming from Team Grasso, which is cool. Kaan Ofli, good underdog because he's a little bit more well-rounded, in my opinion, but Mairon Santos is more dangerous, so I'm going with Santos in this one. He's a huge 145 guy, hard-hitting, talented striker, good takedown defense. He did have a tough weight cut again. He almost missed weight for this one. Solid range mixed with technique. But again, Kaan Ofli has some good power, and the better grappling, in my opinion. I don't think he's a bad underdog pick at all, but I do like Santos. All right, let's get to the next one here. Ryan Loder against Robert Valentin, the second Ultimate Fighter finale fight. This one at middleweight. Robert Valentin, the fan favorite of the season, easily against Ryan Loder. Ryan Loder 6-1 as a pro. 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He's the slight underdog at plus 140. He's not a bad underdog in this one either. Very, 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 keyword very much a wrestler and grappler. Yeah, he hits hard like most wrestlers who transition to MMA do, but he is far from the striking level of that of Robert Valentin, although Robert Valentin does leave his chin out there a little bit Yuri style, as he does have a kind of a wackier striking style. Ryan Loder, though, I believe he was like a top college wrestler, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's a damn good grappler. 4 KO, TKO, 0 submissions, 2 decisions. And you know, that's where that power comes from. Be the 5-0 guy, 8-3 at United Fight League. Now, United Fight League is an up-and-coming promotion. 2 solid guys in that league. Lost to a 5-1 guy, split decision. Uriah Faber's A1 Combat. Fought in BTC. I mean, he's actually fought some decent opponents. But very much relies on his grappling heavy style to try to get the ground and pound TKO. And if he does land clean, like, it is going to hurt because the guy is super strong. Robert Valentin, though, way more skilled, way more polished, way more like well-rounded in my opinion. And then the guy's no slouch when it comes to the grappling either. Ryan Loder's just so strong and smothering when it comes to that style. 29 years of age. He is the favorite at -165, 10-3 as a pro, 4-1 no contest in his last 5 fights. 3 KO TKOs, 6 submissions, 1 decision. Almost has finished all his fights. 1-1 in Eris, 2-1 in Line Fighting Championship. Does train with Ozdemir. Actually, I watched I watch a bunch of people's breakdown, other YouTubers breakdowns and things like that, and I think it was I think it was the MMA Guru who commented on the fact that he trains with Ozdemir. And actually, his camp of fighters is pretty good. There's a few other pro fighters in there. I don't remember their names off the top of my head who actually are doing well in their respected leagues. On a 3-fight win streak before entering the Ultimate Fighter, and has looked really good on the Ultimate Fighter with 2 nasty finishes. That one elbow and then that crazy submission against Paddy McCory. Paddy McCory did land some good shots on him, though, but I think Paddy McCory is a more polished striker than that of Ryan Loder. Beat a 15-25 guy, Kaan. But the 11-3 guy and 10-3 guy were very good opponents. And again, rematch after the no contest. Mixed in some cans there throughout his career. But when he was 2-0, took on a 6-1 guy. 3-2 when he was 1-0. But again, I do think he's got some good grappling. Maybe not. He doesn't have the same He doesn't have the same level of wrestling as Ryan Loder, but he does have some good grappling. Way better striker, way more dangerous. I'm going with Robert Valentin in this one. Again, decision win, not the worst for Ryan Loder, but I do got Valentin winning this one. All right, moving up the card here. Angela Hill against Tabatha Ricci. Angela Hill, 17-13 as a pro against Tabatha Ricci, who is 10-2. Tabatha Ricci, 4-1 in her last 5 fights. She did lose to Lupita Godinez, split decision. I don't know. Honestly, I thought Lupita Godinez won 2 of the rounds. I thought that one should have been unanimous on all the judges' scorecards. But anyways, alas, she did lose that one. And then Tisha Pennington, split decision. You could argue that she lost that one. You could argue that she lost that one. What I'm trying to say is her last 2 performances haven't been very good. She looks a lot more active on the feet than she is because she's just bouncing around there, right? Bouncing around, very light on her feet. Does like to throw some spinning kicks every now and then, but her bread and butter is grappling and jiu-jitsu. Though her striking has gotten quite a bit better. Angela Hill, overkill, 17-13 as a pro, 4-1 in her last 5 fights. Don't let this record fool you. She's been robbed of some fucking decisions, split and unanimous decisions in the last 4 years. And she's a way better striker than Tabatha Ricci. It's not even close, in my opinion. Now, is she the better grappler? Yes, but Angela Hill has faced grapplers and a lot of grapplers in her long career. 5 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 11 decisions. And she never been knocked out, only been submitted twice, and has lost 11 times via decision. And yeah, there's at least 4 robberies in there. And I don't say the word robbery often, but I'm saying it right now, right? A lot of you guys say robbery willy-nilly. I don't. But I will say that there were a few where I was just like, what the fuck? I don't understand that. 12-13 in the UFC, 4-0 in Invicta. A good win against Pinero. Great win against Denise Gomez, who she's fucking dangerous, man. She did get beat up by Mackenzie Dern, beat Emily Ducati, beat Lupita Godinez. I mean, she's fought everybody and beat Luma Lukbumi, who's a fucking solid striker. I know she was only 4-1 at that time, but she's a fucking solid striker and honestly one of the better girls in the division right now. Lost the decision to Yan, but Yan's really good. That was a good fight. At least Angela Hill's gonna bring it, right? She's gonna bring it. Tabatha Ricci, if she focuses on her jiu-jitsu game, she might be able to out-grapple and win a decision in that facet of the game. But I think if this stays on the feet, Angela Hill's just going to piece her up and win a decision there. So going with Angela over Hill on this. And I'll get to your guys' comments after this main event, okay? Because I got 10 minutes before I have to hang up the gloves here for this stream and jump over to KSW. Jared Cannonier against Caio Borralho. Caio Borralho, up-and-coming guy here, guys. And has been looking really, really good as of late in the UFC. And he's out of Fighting Nerds, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, we should just pick him based off that alone. As I push up my glasses. 16-1 as a pro. He is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, and he's the favorite in this one, -270. Now, Jared Cannonier fought 2 months ago, ladies and gentlemen. He's on that PFL schedule right now, and I get it. 40 years of age, wants to continue to stay active and try to get back to a title shot before it's all over. 17-7 as a pro, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Brutally. Well, I guess, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to say it's brutal. It was a little bit of a... You could argue that was an early stoppage, but anyways, he did get wobbled before that stoppage, and he did take damage in that fight against Nasruddin Imavov. Beat Marvin Vettori, beat Sean Strickland, but that was a close fight. I do think this one was less close than the DDP Sean Strickland fight, but again, you guys can be the judge of that one. And then lost to Israel Adesanya upon getting his title shot there. A really cool story as he, kind of literally reshaped his frame, going from heavyweight to light heavyweight down to middleweight. Out of the MMA lab, so a good gym. 9 KO TKOs, 3 submissions, 5 decisions. Has good wrestling, but doesn't necessarily have good jiu-jitsu. Now, I shouldn't say good. It doesn't have great jiu-jitsu. 10-7 as a pro. 4-0 in Alaska Fighting Championship. I don't really watch football, Josh, but I'll have to say the BC Lions of the CFL. Good win against Kelvin Gastelum as well. Yeah, I mean, look at the guys he's lost to, right? I mean, the Imavov one hurt my soul because I'm not super high on Imavov. But he lost to Adesanya and Whitaker in that run there. Blachowicz and Reyes in their dominant runs as well. Jack Hermansson's a good win. I mean, Silva was old man Silva at that point. Gastelum was a good win there. Brunson, he absolutely destroyed, man. Took him down and smashed him with elbows. That one was wild. But Caio Borralho, 16-1 as a pro. Like I said, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. And you guys are just going off arguing about a fight that's not even on this card. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. 5 KO TKOs, 4 submissions, 7 decisions. His only loss has come via decision, never been submitted, never been knocked out. 6-0 in the UFC and 2-0 off Contender Series. Beat Paul Craig, but who hasn't? Really good win against Abbas Magomedov, and I think Abbas Magomedov actually he came to fight in that one, and I really, really liked that decision win. Beat Oleg Jacek, which is a hard guy to put out, and he was able to submit him. Good win against Muradov, good win against Petrosian. I mean, man, he's got some really good wins on his resume. Now, top level guys, not yet, but this is his first big one outside of Magomed and Paul Craig, which it's funny to call Paul Craig a top guy, but it's crazy that this guy was ranked. Anyways, lost to Jailton Almeida in grappling. I roll my eyes at that. And hasn't lost since his second fight back in 2015. In the striking department, I'm giving the edge to Jared Cannonier, but Borralho's striking is getting a lot better. He can get cracked by Jared Cannonier, but I don't think his inability, like, I don't think his striking is far less than Jared Cannonier, where he's going to have a problem with him on the feet. He's got to watch those big shots because Jared Cannonier, if he hits you clean, he can hurt you. Borralho, though, I think he's going to find his way to take Jared Cannonier to the ground. And again, I don't think it's going to be just straight double leg or single leg. I think he's going to get the hooks in or the body lock, get that trip takedown, and right away go for a dangerous submission position, whether it's trying to get the back, whether it's going for a heel, whether it's going for an arm, whether it's going for the arm triangle choke, right? He doesn't spend a lot of time in the top position. He tries to go for the kill right away. And Jared Cannonier does have some good scrambles. Again, but I obviously like Borralho's jiu-jitsu a little bit more. Both of them out of really good gyms, but fighting nerds, I mean, man, in hockey terms, we would say they're on the Russian gas right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's also way taller than Cannonier. Cannonier has fought better competition, in my opinion, but it's not to say that Borralho's competition has been bad. Quick turnaround for a 40-year-old as well, and the weight cuts aren't getting any easier, so I'm going to go with Borralho. That is my pick. All right, I'll get back to the live chat in a second, but I have to give you guys my lock of the card is Zach Reese, even though, funny enough, I'm not like 100% sold on Zach Reese yet. His opponent, he ain't that good, so Zach Reese is my lock. And then brought to you by our friend Volkan. He loves when I do this every week. Degenerate and safe parlay. Again, you guys are the expert when it comes to gambling, not me. This is just for fun. My degenerate parlay, Jared Cannonier, Ryan Loder, and Kaan Ofli. My safe parlay, we're going with Zach Reese, Michael Morales, and Edmund Shahbazyan, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get back to the comments here. There's a lot of them. I'm going to skip you guys going back and forth in your argument here, but where was the last one? Aussie guy, never heard of him. He fighting out of Melbourne. You say there's a CKB guy fighting on this. I don't think there's a CKB. I mean, there might be. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. Yep, Team Grosso, both fighters. No time, cool. Poton said Uncle Live turned down the fight against him. Yeah, well, Uncle Live said differently, so who are you going to believe in that one? Let's go, Baby Shark. Who has a black belt? BJJ is beyond me. The fighting nerds are so stacked right now. Prates, Borralho, Duffy, Jean Silva. Like I said, yeah, I don't really watch much football. It's not a sport that I particularly like. All I know is I was upstairs listening to my Will Smith CD and they started arguing. Yeah, dude, KSW starts in 5 minutes, by the way, guys. I'm originally from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada, but I'm living in Minnesota now. I think Borralho will be faster for sure. Yep, I got Kyle. Cannonier has the power to end it, though. Jared Cannonier, the killer gorilla, he's on. Could see him defeating DDP, but DDP just seems to be putting it together at the moment. Maybe he outpoints Cannonier, mixing it up on the feet. It's Jared. Because Kyle looks like Costa. He looks like the evil Costa. My spicy bet for Mali Marab is Sugar Sub. I bet that'll be like plus 600 or plus 1,000 when props come out. I actually still give Jared the power and speed advantage with hands, but Kyle footwork in his youth is superior, straight versus hooks, but I don't think this plays out on the feet. I think Kyle takes him down. Yeah, when Cody Brundage can slam you on your head, KO you, do then become unpredictable for Zach Reese. Yeah, and it's just like he's only faced 2 really good guys on the regional, one being on Contender Series. Will do, Andrew, will do. I'm not a Poeton hater at all. I'm not a Poeton hater at all. I'm actually a big fan of Poeton. I agree with the others. I'm just not a defender of Poeton like the UFC is. Went to get vape supplies, dummies, sold me wrong stuff. Had to go back. Pretty much missed this whole prediction show. I'm sorry. Yo, what the fuck? Yo, you did not have to do that. You did not have to do that. Bro, why are you giving me money? Why are you giving me money? What the fuck? Appreciate the contact as Jose Medina. have a path other than out-cardioing Reese? I don't think so. I mean, he hits hard, so maybe he can crack Reese, but I think Reese is just way more talented, and the only guys that Jose Medina has really cracked were absolute cans, and I don't think Reese is a can. Yeah, like he hits hard, so if he cracks him, yeah, potentially there's a chance there, but I don't think he's gonna slam him to the ground like Cody Brunish. Dude, thank you so much for the $10. I can't believe it, bro. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Wow, thank you, man. Thank you. Yes, I'm about to stream KSW. What's up, Funkmaster? Medina could KO Zach too. Medina has a lot of first round KOs. Like, yeah, but again, against way worse guys than Reese has fought, in my opinion. And Medina, like Activate A said, looked like an absolute punching bag in his last fight. And Reese has really good grappling and good submissions too. Like, he's got good jiu-jitsu. So we'll see. Is there a chance? Absolutely. I don't think it's going to happen personally. Because I already have 2K on Reese and thinking about doubling it. Dude, thank you so much for the donation, man. You are far too kind, seriously. But I think Reese's experience will prove to be lead towards Reese. Is this like a replay on the donation thing? New feature? Reese is a dog, or did I never notice it? Wang Kong is lucky, Sherman isn't king. You have Francis or Henan PFL. Leaning Francis, but honestly, that could go either way. It's kind of new. But he's a little puppy. Let's go. Thank you so much again, buddy. Wow. Like I said, there's a chance, and I said that yesterday on stream too. There's a chance because he hits hard, and I'm not even the biggest Zach Reese fan, and I think that Zach Reese is still gonna get it done. But anyways, thank you so much, man. Wow, you, like I said, you are far too kind. I am not worthy of that at all. Holy fuck, boys. Holy fuck. All right, we're jumping over to KSW. We're starting in 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Or earlier. I just need to fire up my KSW broadcast here. I got to buy the pay-per-view quick. So, and I'm just going to do a quick little reset of my internet as it was kind of bugging out earlier today or earlier on the stream. But thank you so much. You guys are fucking awesome. I appreciate you. Join us for KSW. We're starting in 10 minutes. KSW, it will be better than the UFC card. It's better than 90% of UFC cards. KSW is my second favorite league, next to Ryzen. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are awesome. See you in KSW in just a few minutes. Hope you all make money tonight betting on any league that you're betting on. KSW, UFC, then we'll be back for Deep as well. So we have 4 more streams here today. KSW, UFC, then back-to-back Deep streams here tonight. I did not hear that, Austin Malley, but educate me on the next stream because I got to do a quick reset here. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you all. Smash that like button and subscribe, and I will see you in a few minutes for KSW. Peace. I'm out of here.
Yeah.